Thank God it's Friday. Monday's a brand new start. Wednesday, you're halfway home, and Thursday, the weekend's not far. Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. What can you say about Tuesday? Nothing. Not a damn thing. Tuesday bites. Tuesday sucks. Tuesday blows. Go away. Tuesday's crap. Tuesday's lame. Tuesday's dumb. Go away. Tuesday. Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. What can you say about Tuesday?
Nothing, except I'm tired as hell.
It's election day, too.
Yeah, it is election day, so get out and vote. Polls open at, 7, I believe? Check out the website. What is it, myvotewi.gov,
Yes.
I think it is.
Yep.
You can obviously just Google that. Vote Wisconsin should pop right up. But nonpartisan, all the information, where you can vote, who's on the docket, all that crap. Mm-hmm. The times and all the locations and everything you need to know, you can find it online. But yeah, it is voting day. April elections. I think in La Crosse we've got a mayor race we're voting for. We've got some judges that we're voting for. Obviously in the state we've got a judge, the bench that's open here.
School board
stuff, some county boards, I believe, as well. So, yeah, check out, myvotewi.gov for more information. I sound like crap because I'm really tired. I took the Brewer bus yesterday. I was up at about 3:30 in the morning, which is sleeping in for me normally. But we didn't get back till after 9 o'clock, and, I just had a really rough time trying to fall asleep. So it's I'm running on fumes here, but I'll do my best. Today, of course, is the first day of April, so we'll take a look ahead, some things to look forward to in the month of April. It's April Fool's Day, so we'll go over some harmless pranks that you might want to try to pull on your significant other or maybe a coworker or a friend, things that shouldn't get them too mad, won't get you a discussion with the HR people.
It is senior assassination day at high school. It's water gun fights.
Are they allowed to say that?
Yeah, they are. It's water guns, and you have people you have to get during the day.
Okay,
and
you got like a checklist?
Yeah,
okay.
And throughout the day. So that's happening at our house.
So if your kids come home wet, you know what happened? All right.
Well, yeah. And, they're hiding out.
Also, Grant Bilse, host of the Wisco Sports Show, will join us just after 8. Got to hang out with him for a few minutes at the ball game yesterday.
Yeah, that must have been fun, huh?
It was okay. It was good to hang out with Grant for a couple of minutes, and we'll talk to him just after 8 o'clock this morning. If you need anything, rockmornings.com is the website. All of our contact info there. You can listen to the show live, register to win contests, and, of course, check out our daily podcast as well. We got some Papa Roach in a couple of minutes and some 9 Inch Nails.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. More from Brian and Gene is coming up.
I kind of misspoke. It's myvote.wi.gov. There's another dot in there.
There is.
But you can Google it, obviously, Wisconsin Vote, and it should pop right up. And the 2025 spring election, if you do go to myvote.wi.gov, you can obviously find out where you vote, who's on the ballot. You can register to vote as well, track the ballot. It's all right there at myvote.wi.gov. Obviously, the absentee balloting is sort of, you missed the open window for that one. It's time to vote in person. But, yeah. Find out all you need to know about the spring election online at myvote.wi.gov and get out there and hit the polls. I believe they're open at 7 a.m. in most municipalities throughout the state.
Open throughout the day and into the evening after work as well.
Wisconsin Beef Council on the lookout for the state's best burger. They've narrowed it down.
I saw this. They've got their 8 or 10 top choices.
Yeah, they revealed the Elite 8 finalists in their second annual Wisconsin's Best Burger Contest yesterday. The finalists received the most nominations on the Wisconsin Beef Council website. Over the past month, each nominee must be composed of at least one ground beef patty served on a bun or other bread product. Burgers can include any combination of condiments, sauces, cheeses, and toppings. And, of course, all the burgers are from Wisconsin restaurants, bars, or grills. The 1111 Burgers and Beignet in Fond du Lac. Brazen Head Pub in West Bend. Brothers on Oak in Baraboo. The Dump Bar and Grill from Cambria, Iron Horse Saloon in Hurley, Local Press Burger Bar in Kewaskum, Mims Charcoal Grill in Menasha, and Straight Home Bar and Grill in Eland are all serving up the Elite 8 burgers.
They're very much on that one side of the state, kind of in this middle section, and none way up north, and none on the side.
Brazen Head Pub, Straight Home Bar and Grill, and the Dump Bar and Grill were also in the Elite 8 last year.
So they've got good burgers.
The All-American Burger at Pickles Bar and Grill in Hazelhurst, earning the title last year of Wisconsin's best burger, but they're not even in the Elite 8 this time around. So you can head to the Wisconsin Beef Council website to find out, and you can see, of course, the graphic there with the burgers and find out where they're from.
Yeah, there's links to all their website, the Wisconsin Beef Council, as well, if you're planning to do any road tripping and you want to check it out.
But yeah, the Iron Horse Saloon way up there in the northern part of the state, and most of the rest sort of over towards the lakeside, if you will. Black River Falls, 7 people arrested over the weekend in connection to a drug investigation on Saturday. Law enforcement conducting a search warrant on Saturday at about 6 in the morning. Drug paraphernalia found inside a home, including meth, cocaine, fentanyl, marijuana, and different prescription meds. 7 people. I'm not going to run through all their names. You can read it online if you want. Were all found in the home and all taken into custody. Black River Falls Police Department recommending charges of maintaining a drug house and possession of various drugs. Police Department there in BRF provided support with the Jackson County Sheriff's Office and the Wisconsin State Patrol. Investigation is ongoing, but 7 people arrested in that drug raid over the weekend in Black River Falls.
Sounds like it was significant.
Yeah. I don't think they're going in there for a couple of joints and all that, but myvote.wi.gov is the website. So again, a reminder to get out there and vote.
I just confirmed that my polling place has not changed. There for a number of years it changed, I feel like, every 6 months, but it's been the same location for a few years now.
I agree with you. It feels like for the last dozen years or so, every time I look, it's a different polling location.
But this one has stayed the same. So check it out if you have any questions about that. You just enter your address and it lets you know.
Looks like some rain over the next couple of days. Not really warming up very much either in La Crosse or in Eau Claire.
It's a wintry mix tonight, isn't it? That's
maybe a wintry mix tonight. I do see a high of 60 in the La Crosse area tomorrow and a high of only 48 in Eau Claire. But I do see some scattered showers and thunderstorms during the day tomorrow and then dropping back down towards 50 on Thursday.
Yeah, and a wintry mix. I think it's late today, like at the end of the workday and into the evening. It might be a wintry mix.
Let you know what's new on New Release Tuesday. We will, of course, talk to Grant Bilse of the Wisco Sports Show after 8 o'clock, and we'll give you a list of things to look forward to in the month of April. Right now, it's Papa Roach.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
9 Inch Nails, the hand that feeds. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. The Brewers got shellacked again yesterday by the Royals this time around. The home opener, kind of a disaster. 11-1, the final score of the Brewers' 4th loss in a row. They have opened up the season without a win. They're at home against Kansas City again tonight at 6:40. Obviously, several tributes to Euchre early in the day. Not a whole entire day around him. I'm sure they're planning something, a special day at the ballpark sometime later this season. But they did open up the game in the booth, and it was obviously a very emotional start.
Opening day here in Milwaukee. It is always a special day. There's certainly a hole in all of us with no Bob Uecker today, but Rock, no place I'd rather be on this day than
coming to the ballpark today was a different thing, right? I mean, we all have our own personal stories that we have with Bob Uecker, the private stories that we've had, the discussions, the funny times, the serious times, but, without Bob Uecker here, it is a different set of circumstances. It's going to be a bittersweet day today without him. Hopefully the Brewers can get it going today.
No, he won't be here, but he'll always be here in both ways, and we're happy about that. We're happy we had to know him the way we did.
So we walked by the broadcast booth.
Yeah, tell me about this.
So they had a huge banner. It had to have been, 40 to 50 feet long and probably 5 to 6 feet tall. And it was above the doors that go into the broadcast booth where if you walk by, you could kind of see inside a little bit where he obviously spent a lot of his time. And it was a picture of him and some words and stuff. I got pictures of it, and then it was signed by, I don't know if it was like everybody from the team or the players or the staff at the ballpark. But it had thousands of signatures and people writing on it. You couldn't really read it from the distance. They had it roped off a little bit. Obviously, there's the statue that is outside that's been there for a number of years, and there's still a ton of memorabilia and Miller Lite cans and stuff that are out there. We took a picture with that as we left the ball game and walked over to that. They had a section up it was up way up high in the cheap seats in the right field, way up by the roof.
That's the one I saw.
And they had it covered up, and it said, look, I'm in the front row seat.
I must be in the front row.
Must be in the front row, yeah. So they had that covered up with a tarp that said that. They had his signature.
Was it in the grass?
It was in the
turf?
grass in the outfield, and I don't know. I'm guessing it was paint. So that was kind of neat. And then obviously there's the seat with him, and you can go take the picture. The pro shop, I told you this earlier. We got there to the game, and we went right in because I wanted to go to the pro shop and get this Euchre hoodie that I really wanted. And so we were one of the first, 60 people through the door, and the pro shop was directly in front of the door we went into. So we went right in. I found the hoodie. My wife spent about a half hour looking through other stuff to see what she wanted. And as we left the store, there had to have been 400 or 500 people in line waiting to get in, which is not uncommon, at Miller Park.
No,
but,
of course.
But I kind of looked back inside, and all the Euchre stuff was picked over. So like people were amped to go get Euchre memorabilia and they had a bunch of stuff, but they were selling out of it real fast. And obviously they're going to probably do some stuff throughout the season. But then they had a nice video tribute to him after they did the starting lineups and introductions. It was probably 3 or 4 minutes long with some video clips of him and highlights of his time. And then they showed the broadcast booth, and in his seat was a huge floral arrangement, and obviously the broadcasters in there and stuff. So
yeah, I saw a couple got engaged at the game yesterday too. So
didn't see that.
Well, there's a lot to take in. Obviously.
Unfortunately, the Brewers didn't get a win. They got blown out at home, 11-1. But another game tonight against the Royals at 6:40. Bucks have lost 4 in a row in 9 of their last 13 games. So the Bucks are in deep doo-doo here. They're at home against the Phoenix Suns tonight at 6:30 on TNT. I think there's only 8 games left in the regular season. Alexander Ovechkin now just 5 goals from breaking Wayne Gretzky's NHL record after he scored his 890th in the Capitals' 8-5 loss on Sunday to the Buffalo Sabres. Capitals in Boston tonight at 6 p.m. on ESPN+, and the way that the Bruins are playing, he might score 5 goals tonight and actually break the record. They stink. They might as well not put players out on the ice. That's how bad they are. NCAA Men's Final Four starts on Saturday. All number ones. Florida taking on Auburn at 5 on CBS on Saturday. Then you've got Houston and Duke at 7:50 on CBS. The winners of those 2 games will obviously move on and play in the national championship game on Monday night on CBS. The women's Final Four is also on Friday with Texas, number 1 Texas, taking on number 1 South Carolina at 6 p.m. on ESPN. And then on Friday, you've got number 1 UConn taking on number 2 UConn taking on number 1 UCLA at 8 p.m. on ESPN as well. So
my husband telling me the very, very good news yesterday that he's number 1 right now in his pool at work.
His work bracket?
Yeah, so we're looking at, 1 or 2 different gift cards, Brian.
Hey,
if this
Olive
comes
Garden, here we come, baby. Oh, gee.
I'm like, hey, what is it? We gonna win $100 or $200? He's like, like a gift card, I think. I'm like,
all right.
Yeah, you're the champ, honey.
Half a tank of gas.
Way to go. Nice
Nothing
bracket.
wrong with a free half a tank of gas. Can't go wrong with that. Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get to some Kill Switch. KSE is coming up next.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Just because 23andMe is going out of business doesn't mean you can't find out about your family history. Introducing Nick Cannon and Me, the only genealogy service that links your DNA to Nick Cannon. Just swap your cheek, mail it in, and within a few days, you'll find out if your father is Nick Cannon. And if he's not, don't worry. Our selection of products also includes Elon Musk and Me. Because if Nick Cannon isn't your dad, there's only one other option. And if it turns out that Elon is your dad, as a bonus, we'll give you an exciting new Elon Musk kid name, like X9 #WD40. But hurry, unlike Nick Cannon's kids, supplies are limited.
It does have a lot of kids, Nick Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Television tonight, The Cleaning Lady on Fox. Season 2 premiere of America's Test Kitchen, Next Generation over on Prime. The streaming premiere of Before Dawn on Paramount Plus. Also a new stand-up special, Nimesh Patel, Instant Karma. That's on Netflix today. A new episode of St. Dennis Medical. New episode of Will Trent, Alert Missing Persons Unit, FBI International. And a new episode of The Rookie on television tonight as well. Kevin Bacon and Amanda Peet are going to be on with Jimmy Fallon. Kimmel is in repeats tonight. Michelle Williams and Max Therio going to be on with Stephen Colbert and Ike Barinholtz, along with Michael Longfellow on with Seth Meyers. So that's what's on the boob tube. I am going to be going to bed very early tonight. Mm-hmm. Try to stay up all afternoon. I want to take a nap really bad, but I'm like, if I take a nap, then I'm going to ruin it for the overnight sleep, so I'm going to try to stay up as late as I can. Mufasa, The Lion King, rated PG. That's new on DVD today for new release Tuesday. Aaron Pierce, Seth Rogen, Mads Mikkelsen, Tandy Newton, Billy Eichner, Keith David, Donald Glover. Mufasa, obviously, Simba's dad. Cub lost and alone meets a sympathetic lion named Taka, the heir to a royal bloodline. The chance meeting sets in motion an expansive journey of a group of misfits searching for their destiny.
Ella and her friend went to go see The Woman in the Yard this weekend.
Ooh, and?
They liked it.
PG-13?
Yeah. I mean, some jump scares and, you know, whatever, but they enjoyed it.
Mufasa, The Lion King, on DVD today for new release Tuesday.
It's time I'll tell you a story. A story of a cub, not much bigger than you.
So just to be clear, we're not in this story?
There's a lot of stories with all of us. Tell one of those.
Long before they became legends, Mufasa and the prince who would come to be known as Scar became brothers.
The story of Mufasa. Also on DVD today for new release Tuesday, Dogman, rated PG, starring the voices of Pete Davidson, Poppy Lou, Lil Rel Howery, Isla Fisher, Billy Boyd. Dogman is a half dog, half man, sworn to protect and serve as he doggedly pursues the feline supervillain Petey the Cat.
Yeah, and ironic is that Pete Davidson is the Pete Dogman person. Yeah. He's allergic to dogs.
And it's based on a book series? Is that correct?
I guess I'm not 100% sure, but yes, I think so. But that's ironic, isn't it? He's a dog man, and he's allergic to dogs.
Rated R and new on new release Tuesday on DVD today, A Complete Unknown.
Oh. You tramped all the way from Minnesota. Why is that? I wanted to catch a spark.
If you're traveling in the north.
Okay, I can't. I'm sorry.
That's all you needed.
It's rated R. It stars Timothée Chalamet, Ed Norton, Elle Fanning. This is from 1961. Bob Dylan goes to New York with his guitar and forges relationships with musical icons on his meteoric rise, culminating in a groundbreaking performance that reverberates around the world. So, yeah, that's on DVD today for new release Tuesday. Also new on DVD today, One of Them Days, rated R. Keke Palmer, SZA, Lil Rel Howery, Cat Williams, best friends and roommates, discover that one of their boyfriends has blown their rent money, so they got to go to the extreme in a race against the clock to avoid eviction to help their friendship stay intact. It's a comedy film. Mm-hmm. Looked okay. Also new on DVD today, rated R, Flight Risk.
I never flew U.S. Marshal before. Hope you like flying. Beautiful day for it.
Marky Mark, Michelle Dockery, Topher Grace, Leah Remini, a pilot transporting an air marshal accompanying a fugitive to trial as they cross the Alaskan wilderness. Tensions soar and trust is tested. The movie Companion, which we both watched recently, is on DVD today for new release Tuesday. That's rated R. Sophie Thatcher, Jack Quaid, Lucas Gage. Weekend getaway with the robots that they bang goes wrong when the robots sort of are like, yeah, we don't want to get banged anymore. Love Hurts, rated R. Ki Hoi Kwan, Ariana DeBose, Marshawn Lynch is in this one. So is Mikey from the Goonies, Sean Astin. Realtor pulled back into the life he left behind after his former partner in crime resurfaces with an ominous message. With his crime lord brother also on his trail, he must confront his past and the history he never fully buried. Can kick a lot of ass. Abbott Elementary Season 3. Superman and Lois Season 3. The Creep Tape Season 1. Those are all new on DVD today for new release Tuesday.
And maybe tonight after you vote, it might be a nice night to snuggle in. And wintry mix, maybe a couple 2-3 inches in the Eau Claire area. It just depends, obviously, on the temperatures and where this the path of this goes tonight. But a wintry mix later on today.
Sad to report that our tradition of taking the bus trip to Miller Park to see a Brewer game, we always watch The Great Outdoors. It's a thing we've done for, I don't know, over a dozen years. We always bring the DVD and either on the way up or on the way back, we pop that in. Well, I don't know what happened, but the DVD got scratched, and so we were not able to watch it on the bus ride yesterday. We put it in a couple times. I cleaned it off, but the scratches were just too deep. So, unfortunately, we did not get to watch The Great Outdoors yesterday.
But good trip and set up you got your Euchre jersey. What color is it? Is it gray?
It's kind of like that bluish gray color. It's not the baby blue, but it's the like kind of that off blue gray color. But yeah, and it's got the like classic microphone, and then it says his name over it. So yeah, no, I gotta wash it first before I wear it. But yeah, I got that.
Were they sewing the Uke patches on too at that pro shop?
They did have the customization thing over in the corner, and you would go through and order it, and then you come back and pick it up later on after it's done. We did not obviously get that done, so I don't know if they were doing the jerseys or what exactly they were doing. But as far as I know, they'll customize anything you want if you want to put a patch on it or something. But yeah, that was new this season. The food truck alley thing was okay. It's kind of it's if you don't like a sea of people that don't know where they're going or if they're in line or not, then it's not for you. It's kind of a mishmash. It's kind of hidden, tucked behind a bar area, sort of over in an alcove, and there's 3 or 4 different of those food truck things, and there's not really a system yet for how to do the lines. That people are just kind of wandering around. And
then, am I in the line? Oh, I'm in line, or I wasn't in the line?
There was one item that did pique my interest.
What
it
was
a deep-fried fettuccine Alfredo ball. And I didn't try it. I just saw one walk by, and it looked like you've seen a Scotch egg, right? So it's about yay big, and it's brown and crispy and delicious looking. So my guess is that they take some sort of fettuccine Alfredo and ball it up. I don't know quite how they do it.
And then
they bread it. They must bread it and then deep fry it somehow. And then it comes in I think there's in the boat that you get, the little paper boat. Underneath it, I think there was some marinara or some kind of sauce, and then you could see Parmesan cheese. There was one place that had Reuben rolls. And then there's that other section that's by the craft beer oasis, which is they didn't technically really expand that. They went around the corner a little bit more. So there's no new taps. There's still the same umpteen taps that they got. There's a few extra tables over there than there was before. But in terms of it expanding and being a much larger selection of craft beers, that wasn't the case. But then there's also a little food section over there. It's like a market grill type place, and there was a gyro spot, and there was like a Venezuelan taco spot.
Interesting.
And so, yeah. So there's plenty of options, certainly. And we had food on our deck. We were on the Casamigos deck, and yeah, good times.
Did you have anything outside of the food that was on your deck? Did you get any salted nuts or anything?
No, we stopped and got some nachos on the way out. Like that, as we left the deck, we stopped on the way and grabbed a thing of nachos and had those before we headed out. It was chilly in the morning, obviously, when we got there in the parking lot. But then when we left the ball game, I don't know, it was nice. It was sunny and it was mild. It wasn't bad.
Warmed up significantly, yeah.
Not too bad. Green Day now. It's Longview.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Green Day with Longview on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Going to give you some stuff to look forward to in the month of April. We'll get to that list after 7 o'clock. Also going to talk to Grant Bilse of the Wisco Sports Show at about 8:15. Hung out with him for a few minutes yesterday.
What did he think? It was his first
I don't know.
day.
I don't know. We'll find out.
Right. I mean, obviously, the game was
It was
great.
The first inning, and I think the Brewers gave up 3 runs, and there was I don't even think they had given up a run yet. It was one of the first at-bats, and the guy hits like a little soft ground ball. He kind of like chunked it onto the ground, and the pitcher goes over to try and pick up the ball, and he can't make the play at second or first, and there's no run scored. There's only a couple guys on base, no outs yet.
First
inning, and God, this team sucks. And I was dying laughing because I know that feeling. But yeah, I think he knew that it was a premonition that it wasn't going to be a good afternoon. Real rough one for the Brewers yesterday. And I don't even think the Royals were using the torpedo bats, which is apparently the thing.
I saw that. The Yankees and the torpedo
We'll talk more about the torpedo bats later on. But yeah, I don't think the Royals were using any of those. And if they were, they probably didn't need to because they put up 11. They hung 11 on the Brewers. And if the Brewers don't have any torpedo bats in the dugout, they better get some because, man, they can't score any runs.
TorpedoBats.com.
Yeah.
Quickly order.
Seriously. Again, Grant Bilse will join us at about 8:15, and we'll get to a list of things to look forward to in the month of April, just after 7. Ryan texted in, said, I saw there was a new ice cream that was at the Brewers Park called Mr. Baseball, caramel, malt custard with beer nuts, fudge-covered peanuts, and a splash of Miller Lite. Yeah, I know they. There's a.
Oh,
I think
cool.
it's a gelato or something like that. Or they basically renamed it and made a euchre version of their ice cream. So yeah, we did not check that out.
So the tributes were cool, right?
Yeah, there was
lots of them, and
I wouldn't say lots. And like I said, I'm sure they're planning a full on get the family out there on the field. Like some kind of
his
like
family,
a full day
sure.
type. Like this was obviously, he died not too long ago, so, the plans had already been put in motion for everything that happens on opening day. But they did have, some stuff there, obviously, with the signature in the outfield and then the tarp over there on the seats in right field and then, the video tribute. But I'm sure there'll be something much more produced and for the entire ball game, some kind of thing that'll happen at some point this season.
And the players had the patches, too, right?
Yep.
They did.
Yeah. Music in a bit from Soundgarden. And if you need something like Ryan, find our contact info online at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Rest in peace, Chris Cornell. Soundgarden there with Fell on Black Days. We've lived in our neighborhood for almost 6 years now. I think this June will be our 6th anniversary of moving into the hood. So we haven't lived around our neighbors all that long, but all of our neighbors,
they're cool, right?
With the exception of one house, a few down, have been the same people since we moved in. So the people directly to the left of us, same couple. Their kids are all grown. I think he just retired. Sue, who lives next to us, she's been retired since we moved in, and she goes all over the country to visit her grandkids. And
she makes cinnamon cakes, right? Isn't she the one that made the cinnamon cakes?
Does she make cinnamon cakes?
It was delicious.
It's like a cinnamon coffee cake.
Quite the baker. That's Sue.
I don't know what the rest of her game is when it comes to baking, but that cinnamon coffee cake, you can stop there, bruh. I don't need it. She's got it handled. She's got
game's
it down.
On with Sue and the coffee cake.
Dreaming about that thing. Like, we had just moved in and she brought one over, and I was like, bro, you can't. You know who I am? I'm fat. I'm the fat guy. I'll eat all this.
I would like another one, please.
Yes, please.
We have two relatively new neighbors, but
people across the street from us, Tom and Lori, we've gotten to know them pretty well. The couple that are on the corner with the young kids. It's funny to see the kids now that we've been there for several years. They're getting bigger and older and doing more kid stuff. Like before, it was like the
little kid stuff,
on the deck. The little slide with the pool, and now the kids playing soccer out in the yard, and it's like, oof. But yeah, we've had pretty much the same neighbors. For the entire 6 years that we've lived in our neighborhood. You guys have been in your hood for, 30 years now?
24. It will be 24 in July.
Do you have a neighbor directly to one side of you or around you that's been there the whole time as well?
No. We had a lot of neighbors when we moved in who were probably the older
couples.
They've either moved and gone to a condo or life has changed for them. We have relatively new... there's some neighbors that we've had that are across the alley that have been there the entire time we lived there. But the new couple next to us that moved in last year bought the house. They've done a bunch of stuff. They have a lot of energy and ideas and stuff. And going to have a baby any day. We look out the window and wait for that car seat to be coming out of the car because it's ready. It's ready. And
somebody's about ready to pop.
Any day, early April. So any day.
Well, these two neighbors have lived next door to each other for almost 40 years, since like 1986, and they both celebrate their birthday on the same day, and they both just turned 101.
Oh my gosh, what?
Josie Church and Ann Wallace Hadrill have led full and interesting lives and agree that the years have flown by. Quote, I don't think we've thought about that time passing. It's just passed. You just go on from one thing to the next.
They're both 101?
Two neighbors celebrating their 101st birthdays together, having lived next door to each other since the mid-'80s.
Almost 101, not quite. Anne is the same. We're born on the same day. And we've lived together now side by side since 1986, I think. Anne's husband died quite suddenly, and that's why she came to live here. I don't think we've thought much about the time passing. It's just passed.
No.
We just are.
Just like another day.
Just like another day.
They're still in their places?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oxford, England, next door neighbors, Josie and Anne, sharing a birthday, both turning 101 years old. Today, by the way, April Fools. You do what seems to be needing doing, and then you do that, and then something else takes its place. You just go on from one thing to another. Very busy when they were younger. Anne was very productive and creative. She did a lot of painting and tapestry. She was always busy. I was always busy doing something else somewhere else because that's sort of the life we lived. They were both born on April 1st, 1924. The life expectancy, by the way, in England and Wales, the average life expectancy is 83 for women, 79 for men. So they have far out.
Well, and the fact that they're living in their places and they're...
Josie's husband, Peter, passing away in the 90s. Anne's husband, John, died in the 1980s. And she moved from where she was living after her husband died to Oxford, ended up moving in next to Josie, and here they've been since the mid-'80s, and now celebrating their 101st birthday together.
And kind of looking out for each other all this time, too.
Well, both widowed, same birthday, probably similar.
Next-door neighbors.
Yeah, all that stuff, so yeah. Pretty cool.
Very.
Coming up in just a few minutes, things to look forward to in the month of April as we turn the calendar. Today, of course, the first day of April. It's voting day. Get out and vote. myvote.wi.gov for all the information on where to go and who to vote for and all that stuff, or who's on the ballot, not who to vote for. But also, April Fool's Day. Be on the lookout for some pranks.
Could be pranks.
We'll talk about that a bit later on. Sourdough bread day. Make some sourdough bread. Didn't we do that during the COVID? We're all good?
Lots of people
I'm
did
just going to buy it.
Lots of people still do it.
National Trombone Players Day. So if you know a trombone player, that's a slide one?
A little bit of brass, yeah.
Oh, that's a slide trombone.
It's a slide.
That kid with his mom's a little person, and he follows her around, and every time she does stuff, and he... Have you seen those videos?
Oh, I have.
She's like vacuuming or sweeping, and he's just making noise in the background with a slide trombone. I cackle every time.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
Officially flipping the calendar over from March to April today. April Fool's Day. It's the first of the month. Get up. No.
Was that April Fool's when we had his wall done, or was that just because he was out of town?
No, he was on vacation. We only did it because he was on vacation. He was out of town for like 2 weeks, so we had the time to plan and get it all done. But yeah, we've done over the years. We've done several. I don't think we've ever really done anything for April Fool's per se. I just feel like it's tired and it's not really a thing.
Those were
I don't need a special day on the calendar to prank coworkers.
We actually had a construction crew come in and drywall over the door to his office.
Yeah.
That was our boss, but it wasn't on April Fool's. But today is April Fool's Day.
Yeah, be on the lookout for pranks. But April, the fourth month in the calendar, starting to warm up. Spring is officially sprung, right? April showers bring May flowers. Here are some things to look forward to in the month of April. In terms of movies, the Mickey Mouse horror movie, Screamboat, is getting released tomorrow. The plot follows a group of New Yorkers who are terrorized by a monstrous mouse.
Yeah, I watched the trailer. That mouse doesn't look...
Well, yeah.
It's dumb.
Well, duh. This Friday, a Minecraft movie rated PG. You've got Jennifer Coolidge, Jason Momoa, Jack Black, Kate McKinnon. It's in theaters. The Amateur, also coming out next Friday. This is rated PG-13. John Bernthal, Rami Malek is in this one. Lawrence Fishburne, a CIA cryptographer, manages to blackmail his agency into training him to let him go after a group of terrorists who killed his wife. Rami Malek wants to find out who killed his wife. Also next Friday on the 11th, Drop. Have you seen the trailers for this?
I have not.
It's in theaters. It stars Megan Fahey. A widowed mom goes on a first date her first date in years. And it takes a terrifying turn when she's bombarded with anonymous text messages that she has to kill her date or they'll kill her son.
It's an interesting twist.
Yeah, it's called Drop. It's out on the 11th. The movie Sinners, in theaters on the 18th, starring Haley Steinfeld, Michael B. Jordan, Delroy Lindo. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. The Ritual, coming out on the 18th as well, in theaters, starring Al Pacino and Patricia Heaton. Two priests, one in crisis with his faith and the other confronting a turbulent past, must overcome their differences to perform a risky exorcism. The Ritual.
Are any exorcisms unrisky?
On the 25th, The Accountant 2, Ben Affleck is back as Christian Wolf. His brother John Bernthal in the movie with him. So is J.K. Simmons. That movie's in theaters this time around instead of, I think it was on Netflix with the first one. So him and his brother got to get together and kick a lot of ass and take a lot of names.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, the 25th anniversary. It's getting back into theaters. That's right.
Oh, that's what they're doing. They're putting it back in the theater.
Yeah. That'll be on the 25th of April. Also on the 25th, Until Dawn. Rated R, starring Peter Stormare. A group of friends are trapped in a time loop where mysterious foes are chasing and killing them in gruesome ways, and they must survive until dawn to escape it. So that's some of the movies that are coming out in the month of April. TV shows to look forward to, starting tomorrow on Nat Geo, Oklahoma City Bombing, One Day in America. Series premiere of that tomorrow. On Thursday, Devil May Cry, series premiere of that on Netflix. New animated series with some Evanescence tunage on the soundtrack. We talked about this one before. This Friday, Secrets Declassified with David Duchovny, the series premiere of that on History Channel.
Learn stuff about aliens.
Yeah.
Area 60.
51.
51, right.
Area 69?
69, 51, and just any
Have
of
you
the...
ever been to Area 69 before? Next Tuesday, the 8th Handmaid's Tale Season 6 premiere on Hulu. I believe it's the final season. Also, next Tuesday on Netflix, the series premiere of The Clubhouse, A Year with the Red Sox. I don't know anybody want to watch that garbage. They stink. Next Wednesday on the 9th, Bad Influence, The Dark Side of Kidfluencing. So this is parents who force their kids to make YouTube videos. That's a series premiere on Netflix on the 9th. 10th, Black Mirror Season 7 premiere, also on Netflix. Also on the 10th, Gremlins, The Wild Batch. Season 2 premiere on Max. I believe it's animated, correct? Speaking of Season 2 premieres, The Last of Us on the 13th on HBO. 1,000 Pound Sisters, the season 7 premiere of that is on TLC on the 15th. Meanwhile, on the 17th, Law & Order, Organized Crime, Season 5 premiere on Peacock. America's Most Wanted, Season 3 premiere on Fox on the 21st. Andor, Season 2 premiere on Disney Plus on the 22nd. On April 24th, you've got You, Season 5 premiere of that on Netflix. And Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, Season 5 premiere on ABC on the 30th. In sports, of course, you got the NCAA women's and men's Final Fours. The women's Final Four starts on Friday. The men are on Saturday. The championship games, of course, on Sunday and Monday, respectively. The men's Frozen Four is on April 10th through the 12th. Men's ice hockey and the collegiate ranks. The women, the Badger women, already got the trophy there. And the women's Final Four, the Frozen Four. Also on the 10th. Hello, friends.
Which one is it?
The Masters. Get started on April 10th. A little more subdued than the Waste Management one out there in Arizona. April 12th, you got UFC 314. On the 19th of April, both the NBA and the NHL playoffs begin. WrestleMania 41 is on the 19th and 20th. And then, of course, the draft in Green Bay, the 24th through the 26th.
There you go.
Movies and TV shows and sports. And now, a look at some of the holidays in the month of April. Obviously, today is April Fool's Day, so be on the lookout for pranks. Tomorrow, the 2nd, is National Do-It-Yourself Day.
We have a great section of do-it-yourself.
Do you like to do it yourself?
I guess. National Burrito Day on Thursday. Hot sauce on my burrito, baby. Let's see. On Friday, it's National Cordon Bleu Day and National Hug a News Person Day. Aw, Shaw. Where's my Shaw? Brad wouldn't really appreciate a hug from me.
Not from you, no.
Shaw always let me get in there. Gold Star Spouses Day on Saturday. Also National Deep Dish Pizza Day on Saturday.
Pizza.
Have some deep dish pizza. Army Day on Sunday. National Carbonara Day. Also National Twinkie Day on Sunday.
I drank beer with my friends. I liked beer. I still like beer.
Thank you,
Beer
Mr.
Day?
Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
New Beer's Eve is on Sunday, the 6th, and then National Beer Day will be on the 7th. That'll be on Monday. So Monday we'll have an excuse to drink some beers on National Beer Day. Also, Monday the 7th, it's no housework day, Gene, so maybe put that one on your calendar.
I will mark that one down.
National Gin and Tonic Day on the 9th, a Wednesday. Can't go wrong with some gin and tonic on a Wednesday, right? Hug Your Dog Day on Thursday the 10th, followed by National Pet Day on the 11th. The 11th of April is also National Poutine Day. Cheese curds, French fries, and gravy. Can't go wrong. The 12th, which is a Saturday, National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day, and it's also Record Store Day.
Yeah. Those are great.
I ran into Jason from Deaf Ear Records over the weekend and was talking to him about some of the record store releases. Don't forget it's on the 12th this year because Easter is the following weekend. Palm Sunday on the 13th. Tax Day on Tuesday the 15th. Get your taxes filed.
Read my lips. No new taxes.
Or file an extension like us.
Yeah. We got ours in. I got to go today and pick up the paperwork.
Extension. Can you say that?
International Pizza Cake Day on the 17th. You ever made one of those?
No.
So it's like all these frozen pizzas and you layer them to like a cake?
Haven't.
No?
I made spaghetti tacos and other interesting
Weird
things,
stuff.
but not that.
The 17th is International Pizza Cake Day. It's also National High Five Day.
High five!
Good Friday on the 18th. Husband Appreciation Day on the 19th. Ladies, treat your man like the king he is.
And then it's Easter weekend, isn't it?
National Cat Lady Day is on the 19th.
They call her the cat lady. People say she's crazy just because she has a few dozen cats. But can anyone who loves animals that much really be crazy?
420 is also Easter.
Well, happy 420 out there, y'all. Y'all have a hit for me and pass it on.
Thank you, Willie. 420 and Easter on the very same day.
You know what? There is no Easter bunny. Over there, that's just a guy in a suit.
Thank you, Willem. The 22nd is Earth Day.
Welcome to Earth.
Thank you, Will Smith. We used to call it Secretary's Day, but now it's Administrative Professionals Day. That's on the 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
The following day, the 24th, is New Kids on the Block Day. Not quite sure why. You got to be hanging tough, Gene. Are you hanging tough?
I don't think so at all. No. I would say no.
No, you're not?
Negative.
National Lingerie Day on the 25th of April. Put on some lingerie. Alien Day is on the 26th.
They gave you an anal probe, Cartman? No. I mean, why would they do that? Dude, they did, huh?
The 26th is also National Pretzel Day.
Boy, these pretzels are making me thirsty.
Not to be confused with Pretzel Sunday, which was this past weekend. I didn't realize Pretzel Sunday had some kind of religious undertones. Did you know that?
I did not.
National Prime Rib Day is on the 27th. It happens to be a Sunday, which is a fine day to eat prime rib,
It's
but
a
around
fine
here...
day. It would be Saturday night.
National Superhero Day is on Monday the 28th. And then on the 30th, you've got Mr. Potato Head Day, and National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day is also on April 30th. So there you go. Some stuff to look forward to in the month of April.
Things turn around in April. You know what I mean? We get less and less of the really crappy weather and more on the way towards spring and stuff.
Darker mornings, lighter nights.
Stuff starts to come up out of the ground.
Lots of people having fire pits on Friday nights.
Lots of people having fire pits. And you're going to start seeing Easter egg hunts and all that stuff for the kiddos.
Easter potato hunts. I did see the cost of eggs went down. It's like $5 now. Or $6.
I did not see that.
At festival.
Same thing.
All right.
I did not.
Sports in just a couple of minutes. Also, going to take a look, speaking of April Fool's Day, take a look at some harmless pranks that you might be able to pull on your friends. Won't get you in too much trouble. And Grant Bilse will join us at about 8:15, so don't go anywhere. Right now, it's Fame on Fire. Tune is called Chains.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
Y'all know what day it is?
No.
April Fools.
April Fools.
April Fool. Just a little joke, folks.
Told you all.
Yes, April Fool. We tell practical jokes on April Fool's Day.
You'll stop with this April Fool's nonsense.
April Fool's Day is favorite holiday.
As of right now, April Fool's Day is over.
Showtime.
Happy April Fool's Day. Play a prank on somebody. Just be careful. So you don't want to get that call from HR.
Jokesters. That's what it is. It's just jokesters.
Jokesters. We have, over the years, pulled a number of pranks on coworkers, putting people's items from their desk in Jell-O. Obviously, the walling off of the boss's office was a classic that we did. I don't know if it was pranking, but when we had Scrady on the program years ago, the posterizing was one of my favorites.
When he was walking around the hallways, unsuspecting characters were getting jumped and...
Well, we had an intern, Pillow Pants, that's what we called him, and he was holding up one of those indoor basketball hoops with the backboard, and Scrady had the little basketball, and when someone...
You dunk on him, essentially.
Unsuspecting salesperson would come around the corner, Scrady would dunk on them and posterize them. And I don't know if that's really an April Fool's prank, but it was hilarious. I almost peed my pants watching those videos.
The video compilation was great. The guy who immediately went into ninja mode, Kung Fu mode was great. That was great.
Yeah, we had a sales guy back then. We nicknamed him Muffin Man, and he just all of a sudden did these karate moves.
Yeah, immediately.
Rest his soul, Mike Hayes. He was not pleased. He had no idea what was going on and did not like it.
Nope.
It didn't react kindly. He did not enjoy that whole posterizing situation.
He did not. But I know a lot of products do this too, where they say that they're coming out with different flavors or whatever and try to scam people into thinking stuff. So what's...
But here are some pranks that you might want to play on somebody. Maybe it won't get you in so much trouble. These are suggestions from people. Somebody did a Reddit forum asking for some fun April Fool's Day pranks to pull on your significant other. Quote, I once changed my wife's birthday on Facebook to April 1st. She spent all day confused as to why she was getting happy birthday messages. Obviously, you have to have access to your wife's Facebook page to do that. This one's actually pretty genius. A woman said, I once painted my husband's soap bar with clear nail polish, let it dry, and then put it back in the shower. It would not lather no matter how hard he tried.
What is wrong with this soap?
Husband said, I had our 5-year-old son pretend he found a big bug in the house. We put a raisin in a napkin. He excitedly ran up to my wife and said, look at the big bug I found, Mommy. And then right before she could see it, he ate it.
Oh, he ate it.
Right in front of her. This is a good one. This would piss me off. I'd be mad. I switched up the order of my brother's drawers once. He was not amused. I don't know how it happens, but at some point in your life, when you're a teenager or maybe you're in your early 20s and you get your first apartment.
Later than what you're thinking,
Like you decide that this is where the underwear goes and this is where the socks go and this is where the shirts and the shorts and the pants and all. And that's it. That's where it stays forever. It never changes. Even if you get new furniture, right? You buy new furniture. If the socks have been in the top drawer, that's where they're going. So, you come home one day and all
Move
this stuff.
Them all around.
Oof. Here's another one. These are harmless April Fool's pranks that you might be able to pull on somebody. My son once filled my purse with bras that I had to remove at the register to reach my wallet. You're a mom and you got all those sexy, like the real sexy stringy stuff too. You know what I mean? You're at the checkout.
Excuse me. Oh, I just leave whatever I was going to purchase.
Sorry, I can't pay for this $700 worth of groceries you just scanned. I got to leave.
I got to go.
I can't run the risk of the embarrassment. Simply set your significant other's alarm to a different sound. So again, if you can get their phone and if they wake up to the same alarm sound every day, change it up to Shiny Happy People or the Teletubbies theme song or something. This one's pretty ingenious. Buy a toilet brush identical to the one you already have. Place it in the dishwasher. When she notices and maybe freaks out a little, remind her that you've been washing it like that for years without her complaining.
Oh, gross. Gross.
That's a good one. April Fool's Day. Here are some, again, harmless pranks you might be able to play on your significant other. We told a coworker there was vandalism in the parking lot, and it looked like his tires were slashed. When he got out to his car, we had taped photos of slash to his tires.
Harmless.
A woman said that her husband changed the autocorrect on her phone to make you swap to y'all.
See, these I like. These are great. This isn't like you're filling a donut with mayonnaise and then making somebody eat something.
We're fighting. There's a fist fight about to happen. If I come into work, number one, I'm not going to eat some cream-filled donut on April Fool's Day. That's just
think about, but like that kind of, I don't like those necessarily. How about the jump scare?
I would say food stuff too on April Fool's should should be a no-go. You know what I mean? Because you never know what... I mean, someone could have an allergy and die. In this day and age, you don't want to put that much pressure on people, right? You never know. Somebody might have a mayo allergy.
All of a sudden...
or eggs. You know what I mean? Like some kind of egg allergy, and the next thing you know. This one, I've done stuff like this before, but it hasn't been this evil. I unscrewed the shower head as a teenager and put beef bouillon cubes inside and laughed when my sister took a shower in beef broth. Obviously, it takes a while for some of that to break down with the hot water.
Mm-hmm. Those are the ones I don't like. Is this the clear saran wrap on the toilet seat or whatever?
Ooh, yeah, in the middle of the night, and the next thing you know, you got a big mess to clean up. I had a roommate years ago, and this was not April Fool's, but we would just, whenever we would shower, if you didn't lock the door, you paid the price. And it was an unspoken rule that we had between each other. Anything goes. If you're in the shower or if you're in the bathroom and you forgot to lock the door and we come home, he'd be in the shower and I'd have ketchup and mustard and I'd just be squirting him with it over there. Oh, yeah. Yeah. One time our toilet was overflowing. It was the first apartment I ever lived in, and I don't remember what the hell happened, but we were home and the toilet's overflowing and all the poo water's coming up, and like we're standing. It was a carpeted floor, not in the bathroom, but outside of the bathroom. So we were freaking out because we didn't want all the poo water to come onto the carpet.
Trying to stop it with any
So
means
like
possible.
we're standing there wondering what the hell do we do, and then I shoved him, and of course he ends up going and he fell down. It was just
no!
What a mess. Those are good times. A lot of fun memories. Here's another one. If your significant other works from home, get an image of their usual background for video calls and give it to all of their coworkers. So then they can put it in there.
They're all from the same location, too?
Yeah. But, again, some easy, harmless pranks you can maybe pull on April Fool's Day if you're looking to get somebody at work or maybe at home, coworker, significant other. You guys do any fun, goofy stuff like that around your house?
When the kids were little, we would, pull not food pranks and not ones that are dangerous. I've heard that you can do, instead of the beef bouillon cubes, same concept. You can put Jolly Ranchers in there, so it's colorful and sticky.
Gotcha.
But, nothing where I've got to clean it up or somebody could get sick, basically.
Just be on the lookout today, especially in the break room if somebody's got some food.
Glitter bomb.
Oh.
Come in the mail today.
Same
Glitter
thing.
bomb.
Big fight. Gonna have a fight. Not gonna be my friend anymore.
That package where you open it up.
I'm too suspicious of things like that. I just won't open it. It's like the Christmas cards. You know when they got glitter in them. Mm-hmm. You can hear it. You can feel it. I don't open them. I told TK that years ago. I'm like, don't even bother sending me Christmas cards because I'll just throw it in the trash. I'm like, you could put a $100 bill in there and I wouldn't know.
Isn't that the mashed potato chocolate egg? Isn't that one of the?
Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of food stuff. Whether you take a Brussels sprout and you dip it in chocolate, and you put it out there like a bonbon or something like that, or do like a candy apple, but it's an onion inside. I've seen those. But again, I think food stuff you got to be careful because some people, they're allergic and stuff, and the last thing you want is a kid dying on the floor because you played a prank on him. Oof. Happy April Fool's Day. Be on the lookout. Be suspicious of everyone. It's Pop Evil.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9.
Footsteps from Pop Evil on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Got a text from Dan, said the street sweepers are out and will probably keep you from napping with the tailgate banging. Yeah, so where we live, for those of you that don't know, is directly across the train tracks from the town of Shelby's yard waste lot, whatever you want to call it. And so when the street sweepers pick up all of the dirt and everything off the streets and then dump them into the dump trucks, and the dump trucks bring that back to the lot, they just sort of tilt up the dump bed and then the bang. So, yeah. With the doors and the windows closed in the house, it's not too bad if I'm in the basement. Now, if I'm upstairs, it's a whole different story. But with the trains that run through in our backyard, it's not all that disagreeable.
Well, and the weather's not really window open weather yet. I mean, we're talking about in the 40s today and a wintry mix by late this afternoon into tonight as you remember to go vote at some point today.
But thank you to Dan for the reminder. Also wanted to hear some Iron Maiden. I'll get to that in just a couple of minutes. Also, Grant Bilse, host of the Wisco Sports Show, is going to join us at about 8:15.
Love that guy.
Talk about his experience at the game yesterday. As I mentioned earlier this morning, first inning, no runs even in, but they did have a guy. I think they had two guys on, or maybe one guy on, a little dribbler by the mound, and The pitcher picks up the ball and couldn't make a play at either base. And Grant this team sucks. And
this is like the worst start in Brewer history.
Since like 2016, I think. Yeah, they haven't started 0-4 in a number of years. But look, that's why they have 162 games.
Barely started.
So they'll figure it out. And but it was funny to see a guy that I don't consider to be a very emotional dude. You know what I mean? He seems kind of mellow. You know, he
let
seems
it roll, kind of roll off his back, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
And to see him get that angry, like I get angry about sports, was interesting and funny. So we'll talk to him about that. Plus, of course, we'll talk about the torpedo bats. See what his reaction is to that.
Cheater, pumpkin eaters.
Well, look, if it's in the rules, then it ain't
supposedly
cheating. If they came out with these crazy whack ass bats and Major League Baseball saw them on day one and were like, no, then yeah, that's cheating. But if it's within the rules and Major League Baseball hasn't done anything about it yet, then
supposedly.
And they hit all the home runs.
It was ridiculous.
It was so funny because it was Saturday, right? And then we were driving around and I put the game on the radio real quick and I hadn't heard the score, so I looked on my app and I said, holy crap, they're losing 16-6. And then all of a sudden, the guy later on the broadcast is like, yeah, the Yankees 8 home runs, the most ever. And I said, they've hit 8 home runs. And
9, didn't they? 9 home runs.
I thought it was in just the season. I didn't realize it was in the game. I know. And then I was like, then I looked, I'm like, holy crap, it is 8 home runs.
Well,
and then it ended up being 9, yeah.
20-9. But 9 isn't even a bad, that's a lot of runs for the Brewers, too. I'm like, what is happening here? It was crazy. Do you follow the Brewers on social media?
No. My wife showed me. They said today's game's over.
They had a bunch of them that were really clever like that today. Yes, that was, I thought, great response to their trip to New York. And
what more can you say at that point, right? Game's over. Iron Maiden by request for Dan coming up next.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
That is requested Iron Maiden for Dan. You're welcome. Logan Paul is 30. YouTuber, boxer, WWE performer, podcast, Prime Energy drink. Him and his brother Jake, new reality show on Max called Paul American.
Little lunch snack things for kids, I think they make.
They got metal shavings in them?
I don't know.
Have they tested it yet? RJ Hale, the drummer for Hailstorm, 37. Randy Orton, 45. Randy Orton, of course, was the youngest WWE champion in history back in the day at the age of 24. Now he's 45. Randy Orton. Also celebrating a birthday today, the lead singer of Volbeat, Michael Poulsen, is 50 years old today. And the Girls Gone Wild guy, Joe Francis, is 52.
If you've never seen a Girls Gone Wild video before, you won't believe what you've been missing. See the hottest real college girls doing things they never taught you in school.
Currently hiding out from his legal issues in Mexico. There was it on Netflix? I think it was on Netflix. There was recently a new docuseries about him and about Girls Gone Wild. And your kids know anything about Girls Gone Wild?
No. I'm sure not.
You were just telling me this morning that you were telling your daughters about something. What the hell was it?
Oh. Previous times on the show. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. Something that happened on our program many years ago. You were telling your daughters that story.
I was.
And so their reaction being...
now versus then?
Right, and not knowing that story. So the Girls Gone Wild thing, I wonder what their reaction would be like. Back in the 90s.
We had to watch it on a video as opposed to being all over the internet or your phone or dropping out of a cloud.
April 1st, 1976, Rush releasing their fourth album, 2112. One side of the album, of course, the 20-minute title track. The other side had 5 tracks, and that's prog rock for you, babe.
Iconic.
It's prog rock for you. 1984, 41 years ago today, the great Marvin Gaye, shot to death by his own father, who later pled guilty to voluntary manslaughter, got off with just probation. Marvin Gaye, shot dead on this day in 1984. 1990, WrestleMania 6. Hulk Hogan laid down, did the job for the Ultimate Warrior, as the Ultimate Warrior beat Hulk Hogan for the WWE Heavyweight and Intercontinental Championship. The Warrior already had the Intercontinental Championship, and he beat Hogan and got both belts, and the rest, as they say, is history. Dun, 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 dun. 1996, 29 years ago today, speaking of April Fool's pranks, Taco Bell said they bought the Liberty Bell and were renaming it the Taco Liberty Bell.
Taco Bell took out a full-page ad in 2 national papers to announce a closely guarded secret. It had bought the Liberty Bell in an effort to help the national debt.
How much did they get for it?
The company would not say.
Well, that's a slap in the face, isn't it?
The Taco Liberty Bell?
Oh, man, people were mad. They were big mad.
That's what I told you.
And this is previous to the internet, the real internet, the internet that we know and love. This it existed, but it wasn't like it is now. And so there wasn't a lot of Googling going on about the Taco Liberty Bell. And so people just had to believe it was true. And outrage ensued.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
The Taco Liberty Bell. How much did they get? April 1st, 2001, WrestleMania 17. Stone Cold Steve Austin beating The Rock at WrestleMania 17 in the main event for the WWE Heavyweight title. You see a theme over the last week and a half. A lot of WrestleManias used to happen early in April, right around the 1st of April, end of March. Now it's moved to like mid to late April. 2005, the movie Sin City in theaters. Bruce Willis and a whole bunch of other people. You got, what's his nuts in there?
Skinny little Nancy Callahan. She grew up. She filled out. Nancy Callahan, 19 years old.
Yeah. Mickey Rourke was in that. Bruce Willis, a whole bunch of others. Weird movies. 2007, WrestleMania 23, John Cena beating Shawn, the Heartbreak Kid Michaels, in the main event for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 23 in 2007. And now he's a bad guy, Gene.
I know, he turned.
He turned heel. He's bad. He's mad at you because you made jokes about him being invisible.
I don't buy the heel thing. I know
I
know it's storyline stuff, and I get it and all that stuff, but I just can't.
I know I'm not a wrestling aficionado anymore, but I watched the whole thing when he went out there the first time and did his whole promo, and I'm like, dude, no one believes it. Like,
it's John Cena.
Like you're like the nicest guy for the last 17 years. You granted all these kid wishes, and like now you're going to be mean and mad. And it does. You're not selling it well enough for me. I'm just not buying it. I can't get into it. 2010, Dynasty and Charlie's Angels star John Forsythe died at the age of 92.
Good morning, Angels.
Good morning, Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Here's an April Fool's prank that happened on 2011. Hanson, in a video that was recorded in like a hotel room, pretending to work on a album of Slipknot covers. Yeah, people were freaking out because they thought Hanson was actually working on a album of Slipknot covers. That was on this day in 2011. And 1 year later, in 2012, The Rock got his revenge.
If you smell what The Rock is cooking,
by beating John Cena in the main event at WrestleMania 28. Of course, WrestleMania 41 coming up in 2 weeks.
I think one of our coworkers is having a party, isn't he? I saw him talking about it. Cooking some meat and drinking some beers. And
I got to say, the food spread when we went last time to his place for a wrestling outing was really good. Really good. That's some stuff that happened on April 1st, along with some birthdays. And Grant Bilse, host of the Wisco Sports Show, is going to join us next to talk about torpedo bats.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays from 6 a.m. until 9 a.m.
8:15 on Tuesdays. Grant Bilse, host of the Wisco Sports Show, joins us. You can hear him weekday afternoons from 4 until 6 on WKTY in La Crosse and Sports Talk 105.1 in Eau Claire. Except for yesterday, because Grant Bilse was busy at the Brewers home opener.
Yeah, your first
His
one
first ever. We popped that cherry.
We did. It was, I'm not going to say it was anticlimactic because it was a great day at the ballpark. It was beautiful, but they were down like 4-0 after the first inning. And then I think 2 of their 3 or maybe all 3 batters struck out in the bottom of the first. We're like, oh, okay, so it's going to be another one of these.
I have told Gene that it was a very funny moment yesterday to watch you in the first inning, the top of the first, with the Brewers on the field playing defense. A little dribbler goes back to the mound. I think there was a runner on first, maybe a guy on second as well. The pitcher picks up the ball and has no play at either base, and there's no outs and no runs have scored yet. But Grant goes, God, this team sucks. And it was the first inning, and nothing had even happened yet. I mean, like, we just had this beautiful tribute to Bob Uecker. Everybody was eating macaroni and cheese and having a good time, drinking drinks that were free. And all of a sudden, Grant Bilse let the cat out of the cage. And I appreciated it as a fan, as a Boston guy who, like, loses his mind and goes, like, completely nuclear when his team doesn't do what he wants him to do. I appreciated seeing that from you, a mild-mannered Midwesterner. I thought you would be like, oh, geez, or oh, shucks. Mm-hmm. But no, you're like, this team effing sucks. And it was good to see the cat get out of the cage, I got to be honest.
Well, I mean, they have a run differential of like minus 40 through 4 games. The opener was kind of close, although it didn't really feel like it, but I guess that game was close. The last 3, they've been blown off the field, and they've put up very little fight. So, like, look, if they have injured pitchers, and maybe we can talk about that, and, like, they're facing some difficulties to start the year. I understand that, but, like, you can't get blown off the field by 10 runs 3 days in a row and expect me to be like, well, they're hurt. Like, no, have some pride, right? Like, show some fight. It's your home opener. All these people have scheduled their work days to come to the ballpark on a Monday to celebrate Uecker and to celebrate the team, and you guys throw in the towel after half an inning. Like, it's one thing to lose close games because you're injured. It's another to just appear, I should say, to not care. I don't want to say that they don't care, although that's certainly what it looked like. So I think that charged me up a little bit, too.
Speaking of the early games in New York, Torpedo Bat. What's your take on Torpedo Bat? It's a thing, and it's going to be a thing, or is Major League Baseball going to step in and say,
So Major League Baseball already approved it. But it would be a very Major League Baseball thing to be like, well, we thought it was good, but it turns out this is working too well, so we're actually gonna go back and change our ruling on this. I don't know. I think it was more of a Brewers Nestor Cortez issue against the Yankees. The Yankees hit a bunch of home runs anyways. Like, and I believe Pat Murphy said after the game, it's not the wand, it's the magician, which is an interesting expression that I had never heard.
Huh.
I'd heard a poor workman blames his tools. I've heard that one, but I'd never heard the magician one. I think it's an interesting topic. I also think it's hilarious that baseball's been around for 150 years and no one once has considered putting a little more wood where the ball hits the bat.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad that it took an MIT
130
engineer.
years or something.
Well, yeah, and there's never been anything this drastic when it comes to baseball bats. I mean, obviously you cork a bat or you do something illegal, but in terms of like the legal sense of the bat, short of adding some rosin or some tar or whatever they do, it's never been this is a major shift. So they just basically make it look like a bowling pin. So you've got the thick part of the bat where the ball hits it even thicker than before, so you got more pop. Why don't the Brewers, much like the Packers, why don't they get on board with the tush push here and get their own torpedo bats and start launching home runs and dingers out into the outfield? Why don't they pick up on that? Maybe that'll help.
Maybe I misread this, but I thought I saw over the weekend that Rhys Hoskins had ordered some. I also think, it's not the entire Yankees team that's using them. There were just a couple hitters, because I think a lot of players, you get used to using the same bat your entire career.
Right.
And baseball players, they're these very fine-tuned creatures of habit. They're also super superstitious. So even if they're comfortable with the new bat, what kind of juju does that put into the air? Change. Well, I've used this bat forever, so that's a factor too. I don't think in a matter of a week we're going to see the entire league using it, but I bet a player or 2 or 3 on just about every team, that feels like what it's trending towards.
Yeah, and look, it's 4 games into the season. It's a 162-game season. They're going to be fine. They'll figure it out. It's much like Devers and his 1 for 15 or whatever the hell he's on right now. It's still early. It's, a little bit early to push the panic button. I understand we have a show to do today type situation, but I'm not going to push the panic button when it comes to the Brewers or whatever this early in the season. I mean, unless it's historically bad, right? Unless it's one of those things where you've got no names and you just got guys that just got called up from college and you're mailing it in like the White Sox, one of those situations. Okay, fine. But I'm not going to push the panic button on them. I would, however, be sounding the alarm right now on the Bucks because they've lost 9 of their last 13 games. They've lost, I believe, 4 in a row. Damian Lillard is out. Giannis has been struggling with injuries all season long. They're not even in the playoffs yet. What the hell is going on with your Bucks?
So I'll lay it out. So up until the Dame injury, this had been a team that I was like, okay, 4th, 5th best in the East probably, and could probably win a first-round series for the first time in a couple of years, depending on the matchup, which isn't nothing. Like, they haven't been out of the first round in 3 years now. So to say that, well, this team could get out of the first round, like that would actually be a step in the right direction for this club. And I think up until the Damian Lillard injury, I thought, okay, you're not going to beat Boston, Cleveland, or New York, but could you hold off Indiana, hold off Detroit, and get a playoff series that you could win in round 1 and take a step as an organization? And I thought they were capable of that. They're not as talented and athletic as the other teams, but they were capable. I think when Dame went down, and we saw this on Sunday, this team just realized they're porked. Like, they're done. And I think not only are they not as good and talented and deep and, you know, athletic and all those things, but now they know they're cooked.
Yeah.
And effort and focus and drive was a real issue on Sunday. They gave up almost 150 points to the Hawks. Right, the Hawks, they got the number 1 pick last year, went for a career high, 30-something points. Like, they were an absolute mess on Sunday, and I think that was rock bottom for them.
If the Bucks lose out, they miss the playoffs, right? I mean, there's a chance they don't make it. They got to put a couple of W's on the board to actually get in, right?
Like, they're in real risk right now of falling into the play-in. And again, it would be one thing if I watch the Bucks and say, you know what, Giannis is still great, Brook is still doing Brook thing, and this team has enough pieces to get to the finish line. But now it looks like they're not trying, which I don't think was a massive issue for them. It's the NBA. You play 82 games. So a random, Tuesday or Thursday night game when you're in Orlando or Charlotte, like, okay, maybe you throw in the towel here and there. But if we get the Bucks that we saw on Sunday for the rest of the year, they're going to be in the play-in or worse, because that was a team that had completely and totally quit. And that's scary, because you're right, Simpson. They could miss the playoffs.
Well, and honestly, do you even want to make the playoffs? Short of a couple extra games, maybe at the Pfizer to earn a couple extra bucks for the team. Do you really want to go in there and just no show it and just sort of be half-assing it when you could take vacation a little bit earlier?
Are you asking from a player perspective or for a broadcaster or a fan perspective, or both?
Either, whatever you feel compelled to answer.
I don't know, and here I'm showing my ignorance a little. I don't even know if the Bucks own their pick this year. My bet would be they don't. So I don't think it benefits them to finish more poorly. Like that's what the Mavericks did last year, right? Or maybe that was 2 years ago, when they decided, actually, we would rather stink and get a lottery pick than be one of the final teams into the playoffs. I don't even think it behooves the Bucks as an organization to do that. I don't know about the players. I think we'll see. Because, Simpson, if they feel that way, we're going to see the same version of the Bucks that we saw on Sunday, and it will be obvious as it was on Sunday. So I guess it will be very easy to tell how they feel in regards to that question or that premise. Just watch them. You'll be able to see.
Grant Bilse, host of the Wisco Sports Show, heard throughout the state on stations like WKTY in La Crosse and Sports Talk 105.1 in the Eau Claire area. Yesterday at the game, Grant did the unthinkable and gave my seats to 3 young ladies.
Like, what do you mean gave your seats?
So we had gotten to the deck, the Casamigos patio, and had gotten some food and sat down. There was, a number of people. There was several people that were not on our bus. So this was more of an open experience where other people could pay and buy, tickets for this thing. So we walked down to, where the railing is, sat down, had some food, and then we put our sweaters on these two chairs, and we sat there and we were drinking and watching the pregame stuff. We watched the national anthem, the Bob Uecker tribute, all that stuff. And at about, the end of the first inning, maybe started the second, I said, hey, I'm going to go get a beer, and I got a couple other people I'm going to run into or whatever. So we got up and left Grant behind, and all was good. And we had a bag with stuff that we had bought, and I expected him to, pay attention to that as a friend and coworker, but no, he blazingly gave away my seats to these little trollops that he was probably trying to get their phone numbers. I don't know what his situation was, if he was trying to get them to come on a show or what he was doing. But
did they not have
we come back and there's these 3 young girls, and they're just they claimed our spots as their own.
They did
First of all,
with his permission.
They're not that young. One of them, 2 of them are my coworker. 2 of them are my very direct coworkers. So they're not that. You make them sound like they're children. I was sitting there. Your seats were empty. You and your beloved had gone to wander the ballpark. I believe you said to get a real beer. You didn't want like a light beer. You wanted, because you're kind of a beer snob. I say that lovingly, right? I remember I did a beer bet with you once, and I had to buy you a 6-pack, and you sent me to freaking Woodman's because it's the only place in town. I thought I could just get you like a 6-pack of Miller, whatever. So you had been gone, and you were gone for a while. It's not like you had just run to the can. And these ladies came down, and I said, hey, they're like, is anyone sitting here? I said, yes. They will be back soon, but I'm sure until they're back, you can sit here. And I said, I'm watching their bag. I made sure to reference the bag. I got to keep my eyes on that. It was no big deal. But then you came back, and a prototypical Midwestern be like, oh, no big deal. If you want to keep sitting there. And then they'd be, no,
it's
take
okay.
it. And then
it's okay.
You'd eventually accept the chairs that they were offering you back. But you were like, what the hell's this? I'm like, oh, God. Which I should have warned them. It's like, look, when he gets back, he's not going to be angry, but he's definitely going to sound like he's angry. So just be prepared for that.
I thought we were better friends than that, Grant Bilse. I mean, I made this change to my schedule to be on that patio to spend time with you. And the moment I step away, the second I leave that patio, you're giving up my seats like they're redheaded stepchildren. It's just ridiculous to me. I would never do that to a coworker or a friend.
You were waiting in line for your beer.
Not for some little trollop that I work with.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. Let me recall my world travels when I was in Mexico 2 weeks ago. You wouldn't believe the culture around chair saving. You need to go to the pool at these types of places to lay your towel down before breakfast to make sure you have a spot.
I'm well aware.
And the bummer is, most of the chairs lay unoccupied. They're just towels. So if the entire world would just realize, like, look, you can sit in this chair, but when I return, I would like my chair back. If everyone would just operate like that, the way that I thought you could operate, then the world would be a much better place.
Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that.
But it should, and it easily could, Simpson. It's so
That's like saying, well, I'm going to leave my delicious mac and cheese here, and feel free to graze on my mac and cheese while I'm gone. It's community mac. That's just dumb.
Food is so different than a chair.
No.
Those are
Same
it's not
thing.
even apples and oranges.
My mac and cheese, my chair. I got my sweater on it. It's mine.
Is there like mac and cheese sitting out in the lobby outside the studio today? Where did that come from?
No,
but occasionally there'll be donuts and stuff out there. All I'm saying is I was hurt by your actions yesterday. Very hurt.
I think you are being dramatic, and I will not feel bad about this. This was such a reasonable interaction among all of us.
Well,
and you got your chairs back.
I have other ways to hurt your feelings, so don't worry. I'll get to those.
True.
More trips to Miller Park.
Grant Bilse, host of the Wisco Sports Show. Always a pleasure. Have a great afternoon. 4 to 6 p.m. on WK2I in La Crosse and Sports Talk 105.1 in Eau Claire. We won't talk to you next Tuesday because you'll be in Iceland, but we'll talk to you the following week.
Yeah, and I feel like I'll be around that Thursday and Friday. I could always stop it. Well, I got to give you this Brewers vest that I've had for
a year. You guys didn't do this yesterday?
Well, I didn't want him to have
I told you I had other ways to hurt his feelings. He's not a good friend. He's just not. I had to cajole him.
Did you not get this vest?
I had to spend weeks and months hammering him about coming to the game just to get him to go.
Right.
Then he gives away my seats. He has a very terrible man handshake. His handshake is not very manly.
That's not true.
I don't
make things up. I have a fine handshake.
It was not very firm. It was not a good grip. It reminded me of Bill Grawl. It wasn't good.
And he forgot your wife's vest.
And he forgot the vest.
Bill Grawl, the meteorologist?
Yes.
The newsman?
Have you ever shook his
name dropping local television?
Have you ever shook his hands?
No,
I
haven't had
and
the
your
pleasure.
handshake is
high enough. My social status is not high enough.
Your handshake is very reminiscent of Bill Grawl's handshake.
Just saying, it was sweaty and
it's a little clammy, and it comes from the top, and it's one of these. It's like picking a Pop-Tart out of a toaster as opposed to going in there for the good meaty grip.
This is ridiculous. This is dealing like you is like dealing with Rush Limbaugh. Have you ever met Rush? Did you ever meet Rush Simpson?
Yeah, he gives a good handshake, firm, gets in there good.
Really
also gives you the back pat, gives you one of these.
I bet he probably
would
did,
remember
actually.
My vest. Would have remembered it.
I didn't want you to have to carry around the vest. I knew I was coming to La Crosse next week, and now I will have a reason to stop in and see you both. I think this is a win-win-win.
All right. Grant Bilse, thank you very much. Love you. Love your show.
Love you both. Thanks for the time. See you soon.
It's one of these.
It was
telling you, it was. Yep. I went in there and I.
He was giving the handshake and
It's like the chip clip, just one of these. Bad News, Happy Music is coming up next.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
The cockroach living in your nostril.
Now that's just nasty.
Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
In the category of criminals not really smart.
Yeah.
A couple of guys trying to run from the cops, high-speed chase. Apparently decided that was the best time to pull over and put some air in their tires.
Come on, Cohagen. You got what you want. Give these people air.
Like they pulled into a gas station and went up to one of the air pumps, and then were trying to check their...
Look, if your car is running out of gas,
that's gonna
and
be
you're
a
running
problem.
from the cops, and you're already a criminal, aren't you just carjacking somebody else?
Was the tire pressure was really a problem for him?
Maybe the thing wouldn't stop dinging. You know what I mean? One of the. I got to be honest.
I do know.
That pisses me off. And if I'm running from the cops, I don't mind the sirens and the bullets.
But the ding, ding, ding.
But the ding, ding, ding of the dashboard, that might be a problem. A couple of idiots in Nashville arrested on Friday stopped to put air in their tires during a high-speed chase. Not a slow-speed chase, high-speed chase. 70, 80 miles.
I think we
an
need
hour.
these inflated just a little bit more. It's not riding.
The cop noticed their license plate was obscured, tried to pull them over. The guy driving was not having it, and sped off. Apparently thought he outran the cops, didn't realize a police helicopter was also following them. They saw him putting air in his tires after pulling into a gas station. So this guy kind of got away from the cops and figured all is well. It's like in Grand Theft Auto. You pull into the car wash, you wait there for a while, and your 5 stars go down, and the next thing you know, you're good to go.
Now, I have such an old vehicle that my light for the low tire pressure is just always on.
Yeah.
It's always on. I have to figure out whether I have tire pressure or not.
The cops were able to show up and arrest both of these guys, the 2 men, without incident. They didn't run again. Didn't share info on the passenger, but the driver's name is a guy named Jonathan Chapa. He is not just in trouble for running from the cops either. Officers smelling weed, found a large bag of pot in the center console, also found a backpack with some more pot, some plastic baggies, and a couple of digital scales. The driver admitted that the weed was his. He was also driving on a suspended license. No word on what the exact charges are that he's facing, but probably going to be a few.
He's a good vehicle owner, though. I mean,
very
he cares
concerned about
he's concerned. He probably changes his oil on a regular.
Well, maybe the high speeds deflated the tires.
He's got a filter. He changes that regularly. I mean,
needed the air.
Do they need the air? Do they need the air? Give them the air.
Did need the air, yeah.
Needed it. Needed it bad, Gene. Needed that air bad. Real bad. Hashtag Florida woman. Unlocking a new weapon in the game of life. You're cruising around. You open up special mystery boxes. Sometimes there's a sword. Occasionally there's a chainsaw. Might find a brick.
Mm-hmm.
This woman found a conch.
Like a big shell? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that apparently had a bunch of barnacles on it as well. Those will scrape you. Those will do some damage. A Florida woman has been charged with felony battery for allegedly attacking a male acquaintance with a large conch shell covered in barnacles.
That would be painful.
That could hurt. I mean, did she hit him with it or throw it at him? We'll find out. Nikki Quarterman was apparently very intoxicated when she got into a verbal domestic-related argument with the 63-year-old victim. She's 40, by the way.
Okay.
The pair have been in an on-and-off relationship for the past decade, and after the argument, the woman took her clothes off and started to break everything.
It's an interesting response to the stress level.
Before I'm going to smash and destroy everything, I'm going to take my clothes off. In the heat of the moment, after the argument's over, while I'm getting ready to do actual physical damage to property, the clothes must come off. Is that her move? Is that like a go-to move for someone like that?
It sounds like it's part of her structure. Yes.
After the man got Quarterman, the woman, to go outside, she allegedly grabbed a 10 to 12-inch dried conch shell and swung it at the victim multiple times.
He got her to go outside naked?
Then threw the conch shell at the victim, who suffered a laceration to his hand when he sought to block the incoming shell.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a game of Mario Kart. You got to be careful. Shell's coming at you quick. She then locked herself in the victim's garage, but was taken into custody after a brief struggle. Released the other day from the county jail, judge has ordered her not to have contact with the victim. Her rap sheet, by the way, includes multiple convictions for disorderly intoxication and marijuana possession, as well as convictions for battery, DUI, assault on a law enforcement officer, and driving with a suspended or revoked license. She was arrested, by the way, 6 months ago.
Also naked?
We'll get there. For causing, this time not fully naked. She was...
Kept her pants on? Her shirt on?
Pants, yeah. She wasn't Donald Ducking it. She was doing the reverse Donald Duck. She caused a public disturbance following a verbal dispute with her boyfriend, the on and off again boyfriend, after that beef, allegedly exited the man's house topless and began banging on the front doors of nearby homes and screaming profanities. So that's her move. That's her move. Her move is to take her clothes off and then completely lose it.
Okay, listen up. Whoever holds the conch gets to speak. That's the rule.
She lost control of the conch and she couldn't speak. So
I think she gets aggravated. That's part of her. It's the escalation is part of taking off her clothes. You know, she's getting mad, she's getting angry, she's getting frustrated, she's disrobing, and then she's grabbing things to throw at you.
Like George Costanza taking his shirt off to go to the bathroom. The hell does that? She's got to take her clothes off to get in the fight. A 24-year-old man in Utah is facing charges after he allegedly, I don't know. I know they got to do it for legal reasons, but come on, man. If there's video and everybody knows that he was naked, is it allegedly?
He was allegedly naked?
Allegedly walked into a restaurant naked and armed with a gun.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
But there's video footage of him doing it?
Well, look, it's a restaurant. They have security cameras. There's security cameras in the parking lot. There's people in the restaurant. Everybody saw his butt ass naked. So, yeah, I don't know how allegedly the nudity is. I mean...
It's right there.
Unless it's one of those slim good body things, you know, where, like, he's wearing a bodysuit. Apparently, he not only had a actual physical gun, but he also had tickets to the gun show. The man was, quote, flexing muscles aggressively and following people.
Do you want some of this then? Is that what?
Ralph,
you want some of this then?
How about some of this then? Ralph Laurent arrested on 2 counts of lewdness involving a child, both Class A misdemeanors.
Well, yeah, he's naked around kids.
Officer with the Provo Police Department dispatched on reports of a naked man inside of a restaurant. One person there told the officers that the man was, quote, flexing muscles aggressively and following people.
He's a little Hercules. Show me muscle again. Oh, Hercules, 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 Hercules.
Aggressively flexing his muscles.
Yeah. And then following him. You don't want naked guy flexing his muscles with a gun following you in a restaurant. What kind of restaurant it was. Officers found the man still naked in the middle of South State Street, so he had left the restaurant. Ralph was in completely naked when he was taken into custody and placed in a patrol car. More than a dozen witnesses allegedly saw Laurent in the restaurant and at a nearby park, including 2 children. Again, how is this allegedly?
Yeah, they saw him.
I looked out the window. There was a naked man. It was this guy that's naked in the back of your cop car. There's no allegedly here anymore. It's over. That part is done.
So many screenshots and videos.
Now, with the
guy.
phone call, there might allegedly be a guy down there that's naked. We don't know. We're not on scene yet. But we show up, naked guy. Everybody says guy's naked. And he's in the back of the car. He's still naked. No more allegedly. It no longer exists.
Ralph doesn't have his clothes on.
Right. No word on the gun. I don't know if the cops got the gun or if he threw it away. That's not in the story I read, but flexing muscles aggressively and following people.
That'd be scary.
Bad news with happy music. Last one. This is a hell of a move. I got to be honest. Kudos to the guy for coming up with a way to evade police capture. You know, Ted Bundy famously got arrested, was in a jail cell, escaped because he lost a bunch of weight and crawled through like a very small light in the ceiling. It was like a little, it was barely a foot, square.
I don't know how he did it.
A square foot. I don't know how he did it. I mean, you look at the picture of it in the documentary, and you're like, how the hell did anybody climb out of that thing?
Mm-hmm.
Some people, will do stuff with their wrists, and they can pop their shoulder out of their socket or whatever.
Dig a tunnel through the behind a wall thing.
Andy, Shawshank Redemption, digging the hole behind the poster, right? Taking the little rocks out to the yard, dropping them there. Lots of different ways to evade the police. This guy came up with his own way. This is in India. And he's been very elusive, apparently. They haven't been able to catch him because every time they get near him...
Does he throw chickens?
Nope. He poops his pants when he's in danger to keep people away as he makes his escape. But he's finally been caught. This is in New Delhi. Police there finally able to capture an elusive thief who would always poop his pants when in danger to keep people away as he would make his escape. The guy's name is Deepak, 27-year-old phone thief from Delhi, India. According to a police spokesperson, this guy would evade arrest multiple times by pooping his pants to create a stench so foul that police were repulsed, giving the thief enough time to make a run for it in his poopy pants.
You're running for it?
Well, he already did the runs, and he's running again. Rerun. Dirty trick so effective, the police even named it a poop and run. His poop-fueled reign of terror finally came to an end when policemen equipped with masks and gloves were able to apprehend him. And there's a picture of them wearing their masks and gloves with Deepak in cuffs. Teams gave him chase, pinned him down. As expected, Deepak deployed his infamous filth plan, but the officers, equipped with gloves and masks, thwarted his last-ditch effort and took him into custody.
Can you poop on command?
Some people can.
I'm asking, can you?
I have to. I mean, like, as soon as it's time, yeah.
Right. But, like...
I can't, like, right now I have...
You can't just make it happen.
Some people might. I mean, look at people that can regurgitate goldfish. That guy, he can swallow golf balls and do them in different orders. How the hell does anybody do that? I don't know. People just, if you got a special skill, you got
to lean into it? This guy's got to lean into it?
Confessed to multiple mobile thefts and knife-related crimes in the area. Police said that he had a long criminal history with over half a dozen cases against him throughout New Delhi, but his unusual defense mechanism helped him to avoid capture for a very long time. This guy's just out there pooping his pants.
I'm the party pooper.
I wonder if it was the same time of the day. At least there'd be some regularity then. Like, he always does his crimes at 4 o'clock or whatever it is.
Right.
So
have my cup of coffee and commit crime, and while I'm waiting for that to occur, naturally, I'm just saving it.
If it's random, like one day it's at 1 in the afternoon, one it's at 7 at night, how could you plan that?
Maybe it's a fear-triggered thing, right? Irritable bowel type thing, right? Where you're like in a situation where you tense up and all your guts go like, hey, man, we got to evacuate.
I don't know, but that's something. They got him, though.
Pooped his pants. That's how he would escape.
A little something extra came out. I pooped my pants.
That's what I heard.
Oof. Bad news, happy music on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get to our daily check-ins after the Beastie Boys.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com. Call.
Hello.
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us. Check. We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Visit the website rockmornings.com for all of our contact info. You can also listen to the show live at rockmornings.com or subscribe to the daily podcast. Lots of different ways to consume our product.
Also, head to myvote.wi.gov today if you want to find out and make yourself more refreshed with what's going to be on your ballot before you hit up the voting booth.
My buddy the Gunny, earlier when we were talking about things to look forward to in the month of April, some of the holidays, he said, how about a national you get to punch anybody you want in the face day?
Didn't they make a movie out of that? Wasn't there like 24 hours where you could just go crazy and commit crimes?
A little more, a little more escalated than that. Not so much with the punching, more with the killing, amongst other crimes. All crimes were legal, yeah. Heath, I'm sorry, buddy. Sorry, Gunny. I don't know if that day exists. There is a slap your annoying coworker day. I think that's in September. Don't quote me on that. Also got a text from my guy Sarge. He was at the game yesterday.
Yeah, that's what you were saying.
I didn't get a chance to go see him. I had a million other people that were at the game, and it was sort of like a high school reunion. It's like that first day in high school when you get back from summer vacay, and you got to see everybody and going down this hall. And
that's what it was like.
Murph was up here, and Shane was over there, and Tony was over here, and everybody was everywhere else. And we were trying to walk around and see some of the new stuff and, take it all in. So, yeah, Sarge, he popped his big league cherry yesterday. Went to his first ever Major League Baseball game.
You are kidding me. That dude.
Said it sucked, Obviously, the outcome not good with the Brewers losing to the Royals 11-1, but he had fun.
Mm-hmm.
Said, have a great day, buddy. Tell Miss Jean hello for me.
Hi, Sarge.
Text earlier from Ryan said he saw there was a new ice cream that was at the Miller Park called Mr. Baseball. Apparently has a splash of Miller Lite. Did not eat any ice cream while we were there, but I had seen the news stories about that.
Mm-hmm.
Dan wanted to remind me that the street sweepers are out, so the tailgates are going to be banging. The chance of napping this afternoon.
It's good. Clean up the streets.
Pretty low. Also, wanted to hear some Iron Maiden and did that for him. Thank you, Dan. Paul texting in saying Jean did not go to the game yesterday, and I said no.
That is correct.
She did not. I went. Jean did not.
I got a Nashville thing coming up next week. I got
a text from someone, not sure who this is. They said, they say you can tell how a man handles his unit by the way he shakes your hand.
You were just commenting that Grant from the Wisco Sports, the zone, and was shaking your hand yesterday afternoon, kind of like an up and down versus a going like that.
Every man. I don't know if it's not in his DNA, but you should know there's kind of a curve here. You see the curve. You're not straight out.
Cup,
you're not straight out. Almost like you're going to go in and grab a beer, right? Thumbs kind of down like this, and you come in at an angle.
Yeah.
You grab,
and then
you squeeze, you pump once or twice, maybe a back pat, and that's it. Grant, I went in for that, and he comes at me with like this, like if your phone is in the toilet, and you're going like this to pick it up out of the toilet.
Or getting toast out of the toilet.
Or a Pop-Tart, like a hot Pop-Tart, and you're just quickly grabbing it. I don't know what that was. It was not a man's handshake. So I don't know what he's got. I don't know if somebody didn't teach him or if that mustache is affecting his brain.
Well, there was a lot of people around. Is he nervous about the germs?
No.
Wasn't a germaphobe?
I don't think it was a germ thing. Evan texted in and said, much like you, his low tire light is on 24/7.
Yeah. I think that's what happens when you get a car that's 12 years old. It's on all the time.
And Brenda texting in just a few moments ago, wishing us, our radio station here in La Crosse, 95.7 The Rock, a happy 27th birthday. So thank you very much. Happy birthday to us, yeah. 27 years of this stupid station. Who would have thunk it?
Happy birthday to us.
Yeah. 27 years. A lot of stations don't last that long, honestly, in this day and age. They flip formats or they get bought by this company or that company, and 27 years is a long-ass time. Thanks, Brenda. Appreciate it.
Long-ass time.
It's too long.
Stop.
I'm sorry. I'm out of gas here.
I know.
Have a great rest of your Tuesday. We will talk to you tomorrow. Please go out and vote. Do your civic duty. It is Election Day, so go out and vote. Let's see some numbers at the polls.